Welcome to BK Academy of Chess. Trick or treat, it's the Halloween Gambit, also known as the Muller-Schultz Gambit or Leipzig Gambit, an aggressive chess opening gambit in which white sacrifices a knight early on for a single pawn. The opening is an offshoot of the normally stayed four knights game and is defined by the moves e4, e5, knight f3, knight c6, knight c3, knight f6, knight takes e5. The theoretician Oscar Kerdell reported in 1888 that Leipzig club players used the opening to dangerous effect, but he did not believe it was sound. Their name for it, Gambit Muller und Schultz, was not after any players by those names, but rather a jocular German equivalent of Smith and Jones, or Tom, Dick and Harry. White's objective is to seize the center with pawns and drive back black's knights. After knight takes e5, white usually plays d4, after which black can retreat the attack knight to either g6 or c6. When black retreats with knight g6, white chases the f6 knight with e5. Then after knight g8, bishop c4, you recommends d5, bishop takes d5, c6, contending in volume 11 of his opening series that black has a decisive advantage. When black retreats with knight c6, white chases the knight again with d5, then black has knight e5, the main line, or bishop b4, Pinsky's move. After the main line knight e5, white chases again with f4, then after knight g6, the game usually continues e5, knight g8, d6, completing the most commonly seen sequence in the gambit. In this position white is on the attack, and his attack will generally persevere, with tactics such as knight b5 after a pawn trade at d6. However, after f4, black can return the piece with a slightly better endgame after making white overextend his pawns with knight eg4, e5, bishop c5, e takes f6, knight takes f6, and now white's best follow-up is to head for an uninspiring endgame with queen e2, queen e7, queen takes e7, king takes e7. Grandmaster Larry Kaufman wrote in 2004 that the Muller-Schultz Gambit is refuted by Pinsky's bishop b4, d takes c6, knight takes e4, queen d4, queen e7. In 2003 Pinsky analyzed it 9. Queen takes g7, knight takes c3, bishop e3, knight d5, c3, rook f8, c takes b4, knight takes e3, if takes e3, queen takes b4, concluding, black is very close to winning. After 8. Queen e7, the alternative runs bishop e3, castle, bishop d3, knight takes c3, b takes c3, bishop a5, castle, bishop b6, queen f4, bishop takes e3, if takes e3, d takes c6, leaving black with the superior pawn structures in the game. Gaillard, Platel, France 2003. And for those that celebrate Halloween, this trick is a treat for you, by BK Academy of Chess. Happy Halloween! Ha 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 ha! Yay yay!